Hi, I'm Bonnie Coffey, and this is the program Moving Forward. I normally get to talk with City Manager Mike Talbot, but we've got a little bit of a special guest today. We have Anne Franklin, who is the City Secretary. Anne, it's so nice to see you again.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you. We're going to kind of talk about what the heck a City Secretary is, what you do, because I think most people know you as the person who sits at the desk to the side of the City Council dais and then takes the vote.
Right.
And we've been chatting for a little bit beforehand, and I guess I was not aware of how involved you are. So let's start with exactly what are the duties of a city secretary?
Well, I'll try to cover all of them.
I know, it's a big job.
Yes. The city secretary's office is the keeper of the records. We keep the ordinances and resolutions that are passed by council. We take care of the liquor licenses, and we're responsible for taking the minutes at each council meeting and making those ready for council approval. Mm-hmm. And then we're required to post them out on the web and keep copies of those. We're responsible for signing off on permits for vendors in the city of Bastrop. We are what did I leave out? Oh, the most important thing, we are the election administrator for the city of Bastrop. So we're responsible for running the elections, right. Bond elections, council elections, anything that we need to bring before the citizens to have them vote on. Our office is responsible for taking it before council, getting permission to go forward, and working with Bastrop County to put on the election.
Okay, we're going to talk about the elections in just a minute, but I found some fascinating information about you. You came to us from Austin.
Yes.
And what were you doing in Austin?
In Austin, I was the election clerk as well as the liaison for the council members. I attended all of the council meetings, took minutes, worked with the council members and their staff for anything that they needed from our office regarding council meetings, actions that were taken at the council meetings.
And there is actually a city secretary school.
There is a school. It's not.
I know
they
it's
don't
not called
call it
city
that,
secretary.
but that's basically. I guess that's basically what it is. It's through the Texas Municipal Clerk, and in order to be a city secretary, you're required to be certified. So you go through, it's approximately 2 years in all. You have to go through seminars, you have to attend seminars, there's homework, there are tests that you're required to take. So it's spelled out through the Texas Municipal Clerk. You complete modules that are prescribed by the Texas Municipal Clerk. And once that's completed, then you graduate with a certificate.
So you got to graduate, walk across the stage.
I did.
Excellent. I'm just curious as to what was it that attracted you about being a city secretary? If you were very steeped in elections and doing a liaison with the city council in Austin, what is it that prompted your interest in becoming a city secretary?
I did not set out to be a city secretary. That was not on my to-do list. It just kind of happened. It evolved. All of the actions that I took with different intentions, it all aligned and brought me to the path of a city secretary. So I enjoyed doing election, and so in doing that, the Texas Municipal Clerk offer classes for several election duties, mm-hmm. and that's a place that you can go to stay abreast of the bills and laws that are passed by the legislature that speak to election laws. So to stay up and current on election laws, which is very important. Mm-hmm. That was one of the tools that I used. And in doing that, I found out that they had a class or the school for the city secretary
right.
school. So I decided that looked pretty interesting to me. So I registered to become certified. So I did that, and then it just kind of snowballed from taking the classes, and then the more classes I took, the more I learned about the duties of a city secretary and became interested in that. And by the time I got to the end of my certification, I decided that maybe I would start looking
Maybe
into
not so
becoming,
bad.
yes. So that's how that
You're relatively
about.
new to Bastrop. You've been city secretary for 7 months?
7 months.
7 months. Well, I'm glad we had this opportunity to talk.
Thank you.
Let's then talk about elections, since that's obviously in your blood,
Yes.
and you know all about those. Because I'm relatively new to Bastrop, I understand that the past several elections we've been having to go to different places, and people didn't exactly know where we're going, and we've been having joint elections with the school boards. So help us come up to date on what's going on with this upcoming election.
Sure. This upcoming election, initially we started out as having a joint election with the Bastrop Independent School District. Bastrop was able to cancel their election because they did not have an opposing candidate in the races that they were having. So what that means is if there's only one person running for each position that
They'll
they're
probably
up
get
for
elected.
election, right? The likelihood of that happening is pretty high. So there's no need to have an election because you already know who the winner is. So
Right.
It's smart economically, and it just makes sense to do that. So it's written in the laws that you're able to cancel your election if it aligns that way. So Bastrop Independent School District was allowed to do so. Now the city of Bastrop, we have opposing candidates in both positions that we have up for election at this time. So we are required to have an election. So that means we're in it alone. So we're responsible for determining, where council is responsible for determining the polling locations. At this time, the polling location and early voting locations will be held at the annex for Bastrop County. I believe it's 804. I'm not sure if it's Pine Street.
I think it's Pecan.
Pecan.
It's the
It's
old
804.
courthouse.
Yes, it's the old
That's what we
courthouse.
all call it, the old courthouse.
And it's the annex. Okay, so that's where the early voting will be held, as well as election day voting will be held in the annex.
And when is the early voting?
Early voting.
You could have told me if I hadn't asked. When is election day?
Election day is May the 7th.
May the
Early
7th.
voting ends 4 days prior to
Okay.
the election day,
All right.
and it's the week before
Okay.
the deadline.
Okay.
So.
Excellent. Could you give me just a rough estimate of, I understand that it's a cost-saving measure when you can only have one election as opposed to two, but can you give me kind of a rough idea of how much money that would save?
I really don't have the numbers in front of me, but
Sizable.
it's a sizable amount because when you have a joint election, you're splitting the cost. Of course.
So Bastrop, the city of Bastrop is going this election alone.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're responsible for the entire cost. Whereas if Bastrop Independent School District were
We could
in
have
it
gone
with us,
halvesies.
right, we could have split some of the cost.
Okay. And the two seats that are open are for which, we don't have districts, do we?
No, we don't have district. They're all elected at large.
Okay.
And I believe it's place 1 and place 5. I
1 and
think.
5, okay. So, well, that's important information to know, so that if someone is new to Bastrop
Yes.
and they're used to only voting for their little neck of the woods,
Right.
we all get to vote in this one.
Right. We each get, Bastrop residents each get to vote in both of those places.
Okay.
You get to vote once for each place.
Okay.
So,
So I get 2 votes.
yes, you get
Okay.
2 votes, and you're not limited to your area of residence because it's not districts.
Okay, all right. This is very confusing for those of us that move around from time to time, and I have to learn all of this voting stuff all over again. Tell me what else the city secretary does. I know that I see your name on the city agenda when I go to city council meetings. So do you sign a bunch of stuff?
Yes, I do. And my office is responsible for getting the agenda together. I work closely with the mayor and the city manager in getting the items placed on the agenda and the location of the items, and getting all the backup together and getting the packets to the council members and getting the packet out on the web and posted at City Hall for viewing.
I have to tell you, having it on the web is fabulous.
Great.
Because I've been in cities where it has not been,
Okay.
which is a little on the confusing side.
Yes.
But the fact that not only is the agenda online, but the city manager's report and any kind of backup information that's needed is right there, and I can either print off what I'm only interested in, or I can use up a lot of paper and print it all off, and then be very informed. But so if you're looking for information on city council meetings with Ann's signature at the bottom of the agenda, then go online before every city council meeting, and you'll be able to find just an absolute wealth of information. What do you like best about your job, Ann?
I like meeting people and speaking with the people and helping people get what they need. I love working with the city council. They they bring a unique aspect to my job, and it's enjoyable. I enjoy coming to work. I also would like to tell the public that if you're not able to come down or you don't want to come down to City Hall during the city council meetings, it is streamed live during the council meetings. I believe it's BTXN, and you can view it live.
Absolutely. And even you should come down every now and then just to get a flavor of the city council meetings.
Absolutely.
But because I know a lot of people that live stream it because we're all texting and saying, well, did you just hear that part? But it's fun to come down. It has been such a delight to get to know you better, Ann. I know I've said hi from time to time when you sit over in the corner, but thank you for sharing your information about what a city secretary does, and absolutely giving us information about the city elections. Whoever you are, go vote.
Yes.
You have to go vote. I think that's a requirement of being a citizen, any place for that matter.
Absolutely.
So
Use your voice.
Absolutely, use your voice. Thank you, Ann. Appreciate
You're welcome. Thank you.
This production is copyrighted by BTXN, a service of the City of Bastrop, Texas, for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this production without the consent of BTXN or the City of Bastrop is prohibited.